Hey, welcome to my channel, Politics Postcard. Today I'm here to give you my top 5 tips for a better Erasmus exchange.
But before the tips, to give you some background, by the time of filming this video, I had spent half a year in Rome doing my Erasmus exchange. Before moving to Italy, I had lived and studied in Sweden for 1.5 years, and originally I'm from Finland. So that means I have lived in 3 different countries. This video is purely based on the things I have experienced within these 2 years I have spent abroad. Anyway, let's get started.
Tip number 1. Consider living with flatmates. I know that some people have a very negative idea about living with flatmates, but personally, from my experience, I can tell that it's great. I think I've gone through maybe 13 to 15 flatmates by now, and none of them has been horrible. Some of them I have barely talked with, some of them I have become very, great friends with, but it's definitely something I can recommend. With flatmates, you can do so many things. If they're new like you, then you can adventure together. If they have lived there before you, they will give you good tips, good ideas to where to go to, and what to do. And those times that you just feel completely lonely, you don't have anything to do, you can just walk into the kitchen and talk with the person. Hopefully they are a lovely person. If not, then okay, it's a little bit unlucky, but generally, even though I am an introvert, my experience on living with other people has been very, very good. Tip number 2, journal. Definitely journal, because so many things are going to happen. You will not be able to remember all of them. You're going to have so many new ideas about yourself, about the world. You will have such funny conversations, little things that happen. It's just, you just want to remember them, but you cannot remember all of them without journaling. Just find your own way of journaling. Maybe it is the old-fashioned way that I do it. Maybe you want to write on your computer. Maybe you want to record it as a video, as an audio, whatever works for you. Maybe something more artistic. Why not? But I mean, you're gonna take lots of pictures, that's the normal thing, but pictures cannot record the funny memories, the funny things that happen. So just please do it for yourself, because you will not regret journaling. Tip number 3. Make sure that you enjoy your flat or your room. I read this article online before moving to Italy that you should leave your personal items at home because you will not need them. Because when you're abroad, you will be partying all the time or studying, or just not at your flat anyway, because you should be out there enjoying. Well, that is partly true, or that can be true for some people. But for example, me, I just really enjoy staying at my place. I just really like being at home, especially in the evening. Even if I go out during the day, when I come home, I just want to relax and I want to look at my room and feel at home. So definitely take things that take things with you that make you feel at home, like at home. Whatever it is. Maybe it's a mug, maybe it's a book, maybe it's whatever it is. Or when you arrive, you can buy those things that you want or you need. For example, blankets. I personally love having a blanket in my room wherever I live. Even when I moved to Italy, I mean, now it's 30 degrees here, but in February it was not. So having a nice blanket to wrap around yourself, I mean, you might need it. And in my case, I only managed to be in Italy for a month before the lockdown, and I was stuck in my room for over 2 months. So I'm very grateful that I had my room filled with things that make me happy, that make me feel at home. Not necessarily things, but postcards, pictures, things like that. Things that remind me of home, things that remind me of my family, my friends. Tip number 4. Learn the basics of the language of the country where you're moving to. Because there are so many reasons for you to do that. First of all, just for personal improvement, just to, learn a new language. But when you arrive in a new country, it depends, of course, where you're going and what's your language level. Like maybe you're going to exchange to Ireland and you don't need to learn a new language. Maybe you already speak very good English. But okay, then you might move to Italy like me, and then you're surrounded by people who don't speak English, or they speak very little English. Or my university website, for example, it's not completely in English. Some parts are, but not everything. So it's very, very useful to know at least some of the language. You don't need to be fluent. Of course, it's very difficult to achieve a fluent level of language before going to exchange, unless you have really been able to study for years, or you have some other reason like that for having such a high level of language skills. But yeah, you want to be able to communicate with the locals. You might need language at university. When you're traveling, it might become really crucial that you can at least recognize words when you really need it. You might think that it's easy to survive with just English, but that's not the case in every single country. Don't let that fool you. Even if most people speak English, not everyone will. So please learn the basics. Just to be kind, just to be and have conversations with the locals and so on. You might go to the tax office. You might need to fill in some paperwork, which you might find in English. You might not find it in English. You never know. Or or you might need to sign your rental contract. And again, you will need to be able to speak language a little bit to at least understand it. Regarding languages otherwise, you might have high expectations that, oh, when I go to exchange, I will learn to speak very fluently, or I will learn to speak like a native. Well, maybe if you are in exchange or in Erasmus for a year, maybe. Maybe if you had studied the language a lot prior to your arrival for years, maybe. But personally, from my experience in Italy, of course, maybe lockdown affected it a little bit, but I had been studying Italian for 2 years and still living here. I can hold a conversation now to some extent, but not too well. So I'm not very fluent, and I am a language enthusiast. So don't let yourself be disappointed if you don't learn the language that well, even during the exchange. But enjoy it, and you learn what you learn, and you take that with you. Tip number 5: think about what you want from the exchange and focus on it. Maybe you want to travel the country, maybe you want to make new friends, maybe you want to learn the language better, maybe you want to focus on your studies, whatever it is. Just focus on it, right? Keep it in mind when you are in the country, because it's easy to get lost. And of course, you can do all of these things at once. It doesn't mean that you cannot do one thing if you're doing the other one, but it's easy to get kind of sidetracked, and then like months later realize, oh, I still haven't visited other cities, or oh, I still haven't been speaking this language with other people, even though I wanted to. So just keep it in mind. Keep in mind what is your priority. All right, those were my study exchange related tips. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be making a couple more study exchange / studying abroad related videos in the future, so stay tuned. All right, that's all for this week. This time, I don't know when I'm posting these videos actually, but maybe we'll see next week or next time anyway. So ciao.